What if I told you the story of modern Italy begins over 2,000 years ago? In the streets of Rome, Italy is a land where history is not confined to textbooks. It is etched into every street, every building, and every stone. From the rolling hills of Tuscany to the bustling piazzas of Rome, the country is a living testament to human achievement, ambition, and resilience. To understand modern Italy, we must journey back more than 2 millennia, to the birth of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known, the Roman Empire. The story begins in the heart of the Italian peninsula, where small villages dotted the landscape. Among them, the city of Rome rose from humble beginnings along the banks of the Tiber River. It was here, in 753 BC, that the foundations of what would become an empire were laid. Rome's early years were defined by kings, tribal conflicts, and the gradual organization of society into structured political systems. The legend of Romulus and Remus, twin brothers raised by a she-wolf, is emblematic of Rome's mythical origins, a narrative that blends bravery, cunning, and destiny. As Rome grew, so did its ambition. From a small republic founded on civic duty and law, it expanded its influence across the Italian peninsula. By the 3rd century BC, Rome had confronted and defeated rival powers, including the powerful city of Carthage during the Punic Wars. These victories were not only military feats, they established Rome as a dominant force in the Mediterranean and laid the foundation for centuries of cultural, political, and economic influence. The Roman Republic was a model of governance, balancing the power of elected officials with the influence of aristocratic families. Yet, it was also a society rife with political tension, social unrest, and ambitions that would eventually transform the Republic into an empire. The Roman Empire, inaugurated by Augustus in 27 BC, ushered in a golden age of innovation, law, and architecture. Rome's influence stretched from Britain to the Near East, connecting diverse cultures through trade, roads, and governance. Roman law became the backbone of Western legal systems, while engineering marvels, such as aqueducts, amphitheaters, and the Colosseum, demonstrated unparalleled ingenuity. The empire's cultural achievements, including literature, philosophy, and art, continue to inspire humanity centuries later. Yet, the grandeur of Rome also concealed deep vulnerabilities. Political corruption, economic inequality, and external pressures gradually eroded the empire's stability, leading to its eventual decline in the 5th century CE. The fall of Rome did not signal the end of Italy's significance. Rather, it marked the beginning of a complex and transformative period. The medieval era was characterized by the fragmentation of power, with city, states, duchies, and kingdoms emerging across the peninsula. Northern cities like Venice, Milan, and Florence became centers of commerce and innovation, while southern regions experienced a succession of foreign rulers. During this era, the Catholic Church played a dominant role, influencing politics, education, and culture. Monasteries preserved knowledge, and cathedrals became the heart of civic and spiritual life. The tension between regional autonomy and external influence defined Italy's medieval identity, creating a tapestry of competing powers, alliances, and rivalries. Amidst this turbulence, Italy became the cradle of the Renaissance, a period that would redefine the world. Between the 14th and 17th centuries, Italian cities emerged as hubs of art, science, and humanism. Florence produced genius minds like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, whose works exemplified the fusion of creativity, intellect, and technical mastery. The Renaissance was more than an artistic revolution. It was a cultural awakening that celebrated the potential of the individual and emphasized reason, observation, and exploration. Italy's influence spread throughout Europe, shaping philosophy, science, and politics. The legacy of this period is still visible today in art galleries, city squares, and the enduring impact on modern thought. The path to modernity, however, was neither straightforward nor peaceful. The 18th and 19th centuries brought political upheaval, foreign domination, and a longing for unity. Italy was divided into multiple states, including the Kingdom of Sardinia, the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, and the Papal States. Nationalists and visionaries dreamed of unifying the peninsula, leading to the Risorgimento, a complex process of political and military campaigns. Figures such as Giuseppe Garibaldi, Count Cavour, and Giuseppe Mazzini became symbols of courage and determination, advocating for a nation that could stand as one. The unification of Italy in 1861 marked a monumental achievement, transforming the fragmented peninsula into a modern nation-state. The 20th century brought both progress and challenge. Italy navigated industrialization, global conflicts, and social transformation. Cities expanded, infrastructure developed, and cultural identity evolved, balancing ancient traditions with the demands of modern life. Italy faced 2 world wars, political upheavals, and economic challenges, yet it also emerged as a hub of innovation, art, and global influence. Italian cinema, fashion, cuisine, and design became renowned worldwide, blending heritage with modernity in ways that few nations could match. Today, Italy is a country where the past and present coexist seamlessly. Roman ruins stand beside Renaissance masterpieces. Medieval streets bustle with contemporary life. Traditional festivals continue alongside modern cultural movements. The Italian landscape, from the snowy peaks of the Alps to the sun-drenched Amalfi Coast, mirrors the diversity of its history, resilient, beautiful, and full of stories waiting to be told. Modern Italy is the culmination of millennia of ambition, creativity, conflict, and transformation. It is a nation that teaches us the value of legacy, the power of innovation, and the enduring strength of culture. In telling the story from Rome to modernity, we are not merely recounting historical events. We are tracing the evolution of ideas, the persistence of human endeavor, and the beauty of a civilization that has shaped the world. Italy's journey is a reminder that history is alive, that every era leaves its mark, and every generation contributes to the ongoing narrative. From the grandeur of Roman architecture to the delicate brushstrokes of Renaissance art, from revolutionary ideals to modern innovation, Italy stands as a bridge between the past and the future. Italy's story is not just for historians. It is for anyone seeking to understand how civilizations rise, thrive, and transform. It is a testament to human creativity, resilience, and vision. As we embark on this journey, we step into a world where every moment matters, every legacy is felt, and every story shapes the present. This is the Italy of yesterday and today, a nation that continues to inspire, challenge, and captivate the imagination. Italy is more than a country. It is a story, a living tapestry of human ambition, creativity, and resilience. Its journey spans thousands of years, from the rise of Rome to the modern nation we know today. To understand Italy is to understand the evolution of Western civilization itself. 1. The birth of Rome, 753 BCE, 509 BCE. Our story begins in a small city on the banks of the Tiber River, Rome. Legend tells us of Romulus and Remus, twins raised by a she-wolf, whose struggle and determination symbolize the spirit of a people destined for greatness. Rome started as a small settlement but grew quickly, thanks to its strategic location, fertile land, and the ambition of its people. Early Rome was a kingdom, ruled by kings, but it gradually transformed into a republic. The Roman Republic was built on law, civic duty, and political institutions that allowed citizens to participate in governance. Yet, even in its early days, Rome was driven by ambition, the desire not only to survive but to dominate. 2. Rome expands. The Republic and Empire 509 BC 476 c. Rome's expansion was relentless. Through wars, diplomacy, and sheer strategic brilliance, it conquered neighboring tribes and eventually controlled the entire Italian peninsula. By the time of the Punic Wars, Rome had set its eyes beyond Italy, challenging Carthage and asserting dominance across the Mediterranean. The Republic produced iconic leaders, Julius Caesar, Cicero, and Scipio Africanus, whose actions shaped not just Rome, but the course of history. However, the Republic faced internal turmoil. Political rivalries, corruption, and social inequality threatened its stability. This unrest eventually led to the rise of the Roman Empire, with Augustus as its first emperor in 27 BC. The empire heralded a golden age of prosperity, culture, and innovation. Roads, aqueducts, monumental architecture, and legal systems expanded Roman influence across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Yet the very size of the empire became its weakness. By the 5th century CE, Rome fell, leaving a fragmented peninsula behind. 3. Medieval Italy, division and resilience 5th–14th century after Rome's fall. Italy was no longer united. The peninsula became a patchwork of kingdoms, duchies, and city-states. The northern cities, like Venice, Florence, and Milan, grew wealthy through trade, while southern regions faced foreign domination and conflict. The Church dominated cultural and political life, acting as both a spiritual authority and a political power. Monasteries preserved knowledge and education, keeping the light of learning alive during turbulent times. Despite division, Italian cities began to flourish as centers of commerce, governance, and culture. 4. The Renaissance. Italy awakens 14th–17th century. From the chaos of medieval fragmentation arose one of the greatest cultural movements in human history, the Renaissance. Italy became the heart of creativity, innovation, and humanism. Florence, Venice, and Rome were no longer just political centers. They became the epicenters of art, science, and philosophy. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Galileo, and Machiavelli were just a few of the visionaries who shaped this era. Italy's influence spread far beyond its borders, inspiring Europe to embrace human potential, creativity, and rational thought. The Renaissance was more than art. It was a rebirth of knowledge, exploration, and ambition. 5. The struggle for unity. The Risorgimento 18th–19th century. Despite its cultural brilliance, Italy remained fragmented. The peninsula was divided among multiple states: the Kingdom of Sardinia, the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, the Papal States, and more. Foreign powers often controlled large portions of Italy, adding to the complexity. The 19th century brought a movement called the Risorgimento, meaning resurgence. Visionaries like Giuseppe Garibaldi, Count Cavour, and Giuseppe Mazzini fought for unification. Their goal was a single Italian nation capable of standing strong on the world stage. After decades of political struggle and military campaigns, Italy was unified in 1861, marking a monumental achievement in the country's long history. 6. Italy in the modern era. 20th century today, the newly unified Italy faced challenges: industrialization, social transformation, and political instability. Italy participated in 2 world wars, endured internal conflicts, and navigated economic hardships. Yet, the nation's resilience endured. In the post-war era, Italy emerged as a global hub of culture, fashion, art, and innovation. Cities like Milan and Rome became symbols of modernity, blending tradition with progress. Italian cinema, cuisine, design, and architecture influenced the world, showing that Italy could honor its past while embracing the future. Today, Italy is a living mosaic of history and modern life. Roman ruins stand beside contemporary skyscrapers. Renaissance masterpieces hang in galleries as modern art flourishes. Medieval streets bustle with cars and scooters, yet centuries old traditions remain alive. Italy is both ancient and modern, a nation built on the achievements of its ancestors while shaping its own future. 7. The legacy of Italy from Rome to modernity. Italy teaches us the power of vision, resilience, and creativity. It is a story of empires that rose and fell, of cities that flourished in chaos, and of people who transformed their world through art, science, and leadership. Every era left a mark, every struggle shaped the nation, and every triumph inspired the generations that followed. Italy is more than a country, it is a lesson in human potential. Its history reminds us that greatness is built over centuries through vision, courage, and relentless determination. To study Italy is to witness how culture, ambition, and resilience can shape the destiny of a nation, and perhaps the world. After centuries of glory, decline, and fragmentation, Italy in the 18th and early 19th centuries was a patchwork of competing states. Northern duchies, southern kingdoms, and the Papal States were all under different rulers, some foreign, some native, but none represented a united Italy. For centuries, Italy's brilliance in art, culture, and intellect existed in pieces, scattered across cities like Florence, Venice, and Rome. The turning point came with the rise of the Risorgimento, the movement for Italian unification. It was no longer just about individual city, states, or regional power. It was about creating a single Italian identity, a nation that could stand strong in the modern world. Visionaries like Giuseppe Mazzini sparked the imagination of the people with ideas of liberty and nationalism. Count Cavour, the shrewd diplomat and statesman, navigated the treacherous waters of European politics to achieve strategic alliances. And then there was Giuseppe Garibaldi, the fearless military leader whose red shirts became the symbol of courage and revolutionary action. This period was Italy's dramatic turning point because everything changed from fragmentation to unity. For the first time in centuries, the dream of a united Italy became tangible. Local rivalries and foreign domination began to give way to national pride. From chaos to direction, Italy went from being a collection of disconnected territories to a country with a political vision, common identity, and shared future. From cultural legacy to political power, Italy's past achievements in art, science, and philosophy became a source of national pride, fueling the drive for political modernization. By 1861, after years of revolutionary struggle, diplomacy, and courage, Italy finally emerged as a unified nation. This was not just a political victory, it was the moment where the dream of a modern Italy began. It marked the shift from centuries of division and vulnerability to a nation capable of shaping its destiny. The Risorgimento was Italy's turning point because it demonstrated the power of vision, leadership, and perseverance. It proved that a nation could rise from the shadows of its past, learning from its history, and forge a future that blended culture, ambition, and innovation. From that moment on, Italy was no longer just a collection of cities or empires. It was a living, breathing nation ready to step onto the modern world stage. From the grandeur of Rome to the brilliance of the Renaissance, from centuries of division to the triumph of unification, Italy's story is a testament to vision, resilience, and human potential. Every empire that rose and fell, every city that flourished amidst chaos, and every individual who dared to dream contributed to the Italy we know today. Italy teaches us that greatness is not built overnight. It is forged over centuries through courage, creativity, and relentless determination. The ruins of Rome remind us of ambition and power. The masterpieces of the Renaissance remind us of imagination and ingenuity. And the unification of Italy reminds us that unity and purpose can transform the impossible into reality. Today, Italy stands as a bridge between past and future, a nation where history is alive in every street, every piazza, and every story. Its journey from ancient glory to modern identity is more than a chronicle of events. It is a lesson for all of humanity that we can rise, fall, and rise again, that our dreams can shape the world, and that the legacy we leave behind is as important as the achievements we make. So, let Italy's story inspire you to dream bigger, to act boldly, and to create a legacy that will endure beyond your lifetime. From Rome to modernity, the story of Italy is a story of human triumph, and it can be your story too.